Hello buddies, knowing how to make a normal bread and also making a whole wheat bread, 100% whole wheat bread is a different ball game altogether. You may think that you know how to make a normal bread and you want to use the same method to make a whole wheat bread and it's going to be a flop. So I want to just guide you all and help you come out of your fears in making 100% whole wheat bread. So watch this video to the end so you know how you can make your own whole wheat bread at home. In case you are someone that doesn't like the normal wheat bread and you love whole wheat bread, or you are advised to take whole wheat bread or to make whole wheat bread for yourself. So relax and enjoy this video to the end. It's so handy and it's easy to make. This will give you a recipe to make a fluffy whole wheat bread. So to start with, I started with 570 grams of whole wheat flour. Okay, you can get whole wheat flour in shops or supermalls or supermarkets. Next, you add in 50 grams of granulated sugar. You don't need too much of sugar for this whole wheat bread. Next, you're going to add in your salt, 5 grams of salt, and you add in your instant dry yeast, 5 grams of instant dry yeast. Now you're going to transfer this to your mixer bowl and let it start mixing. Okay, now once it starts mixing, you start adding in your water. First, for this recipe I added 250 grams of room temperature water. Okay, if you're using a normal dough mixer, you can use a cold water, but here I use room temperature water. So after combining with my first batch of water, I added 40 grams of margarine. Next, I added extra 150 grams of water, and then I continued combining everything. So at this point, I added my flavor. I added half teaspoon of flavor, although this flavoring is optional if you don't want to add it. So I added my half teaspoon of flavoring, then I combined everything. And at this point, if you feel like it's a little bit sticky, just with a little bit of the flour, of the whole wheat flour, and then combine it a few seconds and take it out from the mixer bowl. Okay, so once you take it out, when you want to work with your whole wheat dough, you don't need to sprinkle with flour. Yes, if you sprinkle with flour, it's not going to work. It's going to be sticking to your hands, sticking to your surface. So you need vegetable oil. Okay, you need vegetable oil, and you can see that my dough got the window pane. So next, after mixing and combining and kneading my dough, I divided the dough into parts so that I can fit them in my baking pan. Another thing you should have in mind is that whole wheat dough or whole wheat bread takes a little bit of time to prove, and again, after proving, when you put it in your oven, it may not easily rise again, just like normal wheat bread. So that's why you have to give it a little bit of time to prove, and also you don't have to allow it to overproof for a longer time. If you prove more than if you prove too much, it's going to kind of tear or kind of look rough on the outside, on the surface, unlike the normal wheat bread that you can prove for 2 hours, 3 hours depending. Okay, so you have to ensure the size of the pan you're going to use. If you want it to be a covered pan, make sure that the dough will be enough to, by the time it will rise, it's going to take the cover or reach the tip of the pan. So I proofed this dough for 1 hour 30 minutes and then baked in my preheated oven at 170 degrees for 45 minutes. You can bake according to your oven temperature, but make sure that the heat of your oven is not, or the temperature is not too high. So once it's out of the oven, I brush with my margarine. This particular one I'm showing you guys now, I didn't bake it, I steamed it. I had to pour water into a pot, then put water in a stainless plate, drop it inside the pot, then drop my bread pan that has my dough inside on top of the stainless plate, covered it and boil it for the same 45 minutes, and I had my bread so soft, so tasty, and so good. So in case you want to make your whole wheat bread, just follow this recipe step by step, and if you don't want to bake it, you can also use a steaming method just as I did.